Hi, Katzcradul here. Every Friday evening when I'm almost done with work, I think, oh, it's going to be so exciting tomorrow to get up and finally clean my house after the harvest and gardening is done. I finally feel like I'm going to get a weekend, and then I wake up on Saturday and go out to my garden, and there's work to be done with the produce. I don't want to be ungrateful or seem ungrateful. I'm thrilled to have the produce, and I will show you what we got today. We have peppers, lots of peppers, jalapenos, cayennes, and I'm drying cayennes all over my house. I have them strung up, drying. I've got bell peppers, green ones and red ones, okra coming out my ears. I have another huge bag of okra in the refrigerator that I've got to deal with. I'm going to try to pickle most of these, not the big ones, but the little ones. I've got paste tomatoes and regular tomatoes. Of course, they're smaller now at the end of the year, and we're under drought conditions now. I hadn't had a drop of rain in 3 weeks. But look at this nice big bowl of cherry tomatoes. There's some that are bigger on this edge, and some here that are so tiny. If I pick them up in my hand, you'll see what I'm talking about. See how little they are? But they're loaded with flavor. And while I'm not going to can these or dry these, I do want to make a dish today that I'm going to show you that we've been making for several years, and we just absolutely love it. And it's made with fresh tomatoes. We also brought in a lot of basil from the garden. You can see it's trying to go to seed. It's flowering. And I pick the flowers off all the time to try to force it to produce more leaves, but it's ready to be done. So I'm going to use that in my fresh basil out of the garden and fresh tomatoes out of the garden, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Be back in just a minute. All right, we're back. I washed all of the cherry tomatoes and I cut them in half. They were all pretty small, but I wanted the insides to be exposed to the other seasonings I'm going to put into this dish. It's so simple. Okay, Prepare, if you'll just come down here and look at this. Here's what I'm putting in here. Did I mention that this recipe is not for the faint of heart? It is a powerfully strong dish, but if you like Italian flavors, you're going to love it. So it has tomatoes, basil. You can also use dried basil leaves if you want to, but here's my fresh basil leaves, and here's sliced garlic. You can use freeze-dried garlic, but I wouldn't go to garlic powder or anything like that. This is the freeze-dried minced garlic. It's excellent from Penzeys. I think you've heard me talk about it before. You could use that. I don't think it'd be quite as good as the fresh, but you can try it. Then we're going to add salt. Fresh tomatoes always need more salt than you think, so you might have to put the salt in, stir it up, taste it, and then see if you need more. Some cracked black pepper. Also some crushed red pepper. A good olive oil, and a little bit of balsamic vinegar. So here's how this goes. It's really easy. Put in the garlic and the basil into a big bowl of tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, and you can tell about, how big my bowl is. That's probably, well, maybe 1.5 pounds of tomatoes, maybe 2 pounds of tomatoes. There's probably about 4 tablespoons of fresh basil, and probably at least 2 big heaping tablespoons of sliced garlic. Then I'm going to salt generously. This is coarse salt, so sea salt takes a little bit more. I'm going to put a little bit of black pepper in it, maybe 10 or 12 grinds. Then I'm going to add a little crushed red pepper, probably 2 shakes of that. I don't want it particularly hot spicy. Then I'm going to generously douse it with olive oil. The salt will help the tomatoes to sweat out their juice a little bit, and that's what's going to give you your nice sauce. Much less of the balsamic vinegar. You only want just a little touch of that. It just perks it up nicely. All right, and then I'm going to stir. Wow. All the colors of the Italian flag, white and red and green. This is spectacular. Now we're going to put it on pasta. My favorite thing to put it on is vermicelli. If I don't have that, then I like angel hair. We're not fond of spaghetti, so I don't use that. But you could probably put it on pretty much anything else. Now that's looking pretty good. You want it to glisten like that. You want to see if there's plenty of garlic and basil in it. Let me just dig down the bottom and taste a little tomato and see if we've got enough salt in there. Yeah, not quite. Needs just a little bit more. I don't want to overdo it though, because on top of this pasta, I'm going to put a little bit of freshly grated Parmesan cheese, and it will add a little bit more salt. So I don't want to get crazy. And I also can adjust a little bit by the salt I put in my pasta. So that's it. Now this is best made early in the day, covered with a plastic wrap and put in the refrigerator. You want it to be very cold when you put it on your hot pasta. Now when I first heard about this, I thought that sounds gross. My mother tried this and told me it was wonderful, and I delayed a long time in making it because I just didn't believe it, but she went on and on about it, and we eventually tried it, and she was right. It's a really weird thing that happens when you put this cold tomato on the hot pasta, but it's absolutely divine. So I'm going to cover it until we're ready to eat this evening, and when I'm ready to dish it up, I'll come back and show you. All right, it's supper time. It's a little late because I've been canning, but the tomatoes definitely will wait. They have marinated. They look beautiful, and Prepper A is very ready for supper. She's hungry. So there go the fresh tomatoes. And you have to be certain to get some of this delicious tomato juice on there. Do you want a little Parmesan cheese on?
Yes, ma'am. Not too much.
Okay, here you go.
Perfect.
A little freshly grated Parmesan. Is that enough?
That's enough, ma'am.
And there's your homemade garlic bread. And give it a little taste test.
Alrighty.
Let us know what you think. Pasta may be a little hot. Be careful.
Do the tomato. Love the big chunks of garlic.
You love the garlic in it? How's it taste?
Really good.
Delicious.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm so glad. She loves it. Anyway, that's how it looks. It's so simple, and you can see the tomatoes yield up a lot of their juice, and that's what makes your sauce for your pasta. If you are a garlic lover and a tomato lover, please, please try this. I'm telling you, I resisted it for a long time, and when I finally tried it, I just could have kicked myself. You're going to love it, and when you try it, let me know what you think. Cat's Cradle.